I got the power to move ya.
You're listening to the PlaNiya podcast series.
Greetings, Jasmine coming at you live from where I am coming at you from. Welcome to the PlaNiya podcast series, episode 3. I am the Jasmine GreenMcConico. I say thee to make myself feel better. The purpose of this series is to evoke thoughts and resurrect your true opinions. Your thoughts should be your own. In today's episode, we'll be talking about feeling stuck and quitting to live. If you happen to hear some heavy breathing in the background, that's my baby. And she just woke up from a nap or whatever, or lack thereof. But I'm kind of glad because this can work as a pretty good example on how to, get to it. In spite of. In today's episode, we'll be talking about feeling stuck and quitting to live again. And if we could just cut the music here, we can just go on into it. Most people go to jobs and absolutely hate them. They do. Not a lot of people will admit it, but a lot of people are in situations that they are forced into. They just have to deal with it. They go to work because, it's going to pay the bills. They go to work because, they have to. Pretty much, they have to live. It's not a lot of people truly living out their dreams. Number one reason for that, in my opinion, is fear. I've wanted to be a singer, songwriter, actress, producer, director, all of that for as long as I can remember. I was always afraid of my own potential. I fell into the day-to-day life. The day-to-day life started to take up the majority of my time. So there's no hobbies, no dream building, no time to really put into, perfecting or mastering a craft that I wanted to do. I was just afraid and they had the time to do it. I was always stressed out and I became inconsistent on my goals. And on YouTube, pretty much, I've been doing YouTube for I don't know how long, but I've been inconsistent. And I feel like due to my inconsistency, I'm way behind where I feel I should be. Even though some may argue, you have your own path. You can't follow anything. But I know for myself, had I been consistent and had I, continued to do what I needed to do, then I'd be much further than I am now. However, I also know that had I not gone through the things that I have gone through, I wouldn't be able to relay a lot of the things that I know now. I'm young. I'm 28 years old. I don't know a lot, but I do know a lot. So basically, depression set in, and then I fell into a cycle that barely made me happy, and a cycle that made me wish for things I'll never have if I don't break the cycle. So I started thinking about, when things started really getting intense in my life, and I was really just unhappy with things. What if I decided to just be like, I'm finna go after my dreams. I'm not saying like quit cold turkey, even though a lot of us would just like really just, when I say we put up with stuff, we put up with stuff. We put up with the attitude. We put up with the threats or the unnecessary comments from the boss. We put up with, people's heads being swollen or whatever because they're in a certain leadership or authoritative position. But what if we decided to be like, nah, bruh, nah, sis, I'm out, or whatever. So that's where I'm going with this. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent and completely raw with you. I'm going to insert one of my raw, tried to edit like post of me singing and rapping. Again, this is very raw. I got lyrics for days, so don't hate. But I don't really feel like I have the MC voice for it. But anyway, I just want to play it, and then I'm going to, make my point around it. Give me a sec.
This is just a practice track. I'm sick, and I really wanted to record. Here we go.
Easy on the count.
Let me just point out that I was sick, okay? I got a cold. But I had to get it out.
When I told him what I be, it looked at me funny. Like I said something funny. I probably laughed too for being quiet on this has-been, you ain't heard nothing from me. In the city I was born, I was torn, trying to find who was time to ride. Always thought inside, fighting pride, one by the niggas that I asked first for this first. Your money to disperse, act funny when you call me. I'm returning the favor, and it'll be your worst behavior. I told y'all to remember me. I'm your nightmare, you my dream. I'm your worst behavior. Yeah, I'm my worst behavior. Hey, I deserve it. I deserve it. I'm my worst behavior. Yeah, I'm my worst behavior.
All right. So, as you could hear, it was very rough. I sounded terrible. I was sick as a dog. It was just, the I don't know, the editing, everything. Like, it was just terrible. But in the beginning, it said, I got a cold, but I gotta let it go. That meant, performing is my passion. And some of the lyrics in there, it talked about when I told them what I'd be, they looked at me funny like I said something funny. In the city I came from, they call it Crab City. I love my city. I'm from Albany, Georgia, but they call it Crab City. Anytime somebody thinks about doing anything out of the ordinary or out of the norm or out of what's safe, they look at you funny. And for a long time, even in high school, I was designated as somebody who most likely would be successful. Not saying that anybody else from my class or from my school or from my neighborhood wouldn't be successful. I'm just saying it was certain that I would be successful. And it wasn't that anybody was blowing up my head. It was just I went after everything that I thought I wanted, everything that I could put my mind to. I went after it. And so at the time that I recorded this track, I was exhausted. I was wrapped up in a blanket. I had just gotten off from work. I had just put in to take off for the next day, which I rarely do because I'm one of those people, I try to be so responsible to us where I don't want to take off. It was something like it was something serious. I didn't want to do anything else, but I came to my computer and I recorded something. And that said a lot to me. I asked a lot of people if they were able to quit their jobs, would they? And most of them said yes. A lot of people want to step out of the norm, but they just do not know how. My brother and I are both talented. My brother DJ is talented. My other brother Bleak is very talented. But we have to deal with the things or the responsibilities from the day-to-day life. Because we are so creative, that stuff starts to deteriorate our minds or whatever, and it starts to break us down as people. If you are not living in what you are supposed to do, eventually it will take a toll. A lot of us wonder why it's a lot of bitter people walking around here, a lot of people with chips on their shoulder, a lot of naysayers or whatever. And that's possibly because, or probably because, or most likely because they have their own fears. They've gone through their own traumas, or I don't know, maybe it's the jealousy that you still have that youthful hope that most of us lose by the time we get to high school or we graduate or whatever. And life throws a ton of curveballs. So I started thinking after things got really, really intense in my life. A lot of times I did a video about it. A lot of times God shows us signs. He keeps throwing signs, and we so stubborn. We sit in whatever manifestation of mess that we're in, and we ignore all types of warnings and all that stuff. But I was thinking, feeling stuck in those situations. What if I decided to climb out? What if I decided to quit all of that mess in order to live? What do you mean by that, Jasmine? I'm finna tell you. If you could walk away from your job right now, and I would like for y'all to comment and tell me what you would do. If you could walk away from your job right now with everything taken care of, or with the opportunity to do what you loved to do, if it paid you to do. Alright, so basically I lost my train of thought or whatever. Because my husband came home, he got Jordan or whatever. So, had to get situated or whatever. But I was thinking, if you are feeling stuck in a situation and you had the opportunity to quit all that mess that had you sitting and manifesting in that situation, would you do that in order to live? What do I mean by live? Would you do that in order to achieve the type of lifestyle that you want, that would actually make you happy, that would actually allow you to be positive when you wake up in the morning, or be positive on Sunday night or whatever? And a lot of people don't even know that they're going to a job that's really not for them. Now, first, I'm going to give you some things to look for when it's time to move on for your job. Some of the signs that we ignore or whatever. Number one, what is your body saying? I know for me, I get terrible headaches. You remember how they used to wear the little snapbacks and they used to cock it to the side? That little area by which the head is cocked to the side in, that's where that headache happens. And I've been told that's a stress headache. Is your body telling you that you're tired? Is your body aching or whatever? Your body will tell you first and foremost. Is your health deteriorating? What's going on? That's your first sign. Number two, you've maxed out your learning, and are you still learning from your job? Are you still growing from your job? Or are you just there? Are you just showing up, going through the motions or whatever? You have no feelings, or basically negative feelings towards your job, and you just going through the motions. Number three, your Sunday night blues from your weekend being over, has turned into depression, which turns into anxiety. That's like a flashing red sign or whatever. There's something going on in that place that's causing you mental discomfort. And that's not a good situation for anybody to thrive and be positive in, or to just be, neutral in. Number four, you stop caring. Everything that you do needs to be done with a purpose. And if you're going to work solely for the purpose just to survive, it's like a cycle. You just going to work to pay bills. And the bills that you paying, it's like a cycle. You ain't really living. You just going through a cycle. If you stop caring, you need to be figuring out a way to move on. Number five, you feel undervalued. I know a lot of times this stuff happens or whatever. It's so common. It's like a part of the job description. But if you feeling undervalued, you need to go to a place where you are valued. Now, I'm not saying quit your job cold turkey. Let's not say that. But that's when we go to step one, which is plotting. This is where you plot. Okay, some of the ways to stay motivated before you leave. When you have to wait to quit, is your mindset. You need to take on a mindset to develop plans to reach certain goals. Make you a vision board. I talk about this all the time. Get you a bullet journal, do a Pinterest board or whatever. Write something down. You have to write the vision down to make it plain. That's Bible. That is Bible. Write it down. Make it plain. And start adding things to that vision or whatever. What's the word I'm looking for? Rational things. Things that are of reality, and get excited about those goals that you're going to set forth, and get excited about thinking what life could be like after you get to do what you really want to do. Number 2, surround yourself with all the right people. We are so guilty of getting around messy folks or people who just, they're like crabs in a bucket. If you surround yourself with negative people, people who are always talking about folks, people who ain't happy with their own self, that stuff gonna start rubbing off on you and manifesting in your life. You need to surround yourself with goal-oriented people who gonna push you, and you need to push them. That is so important. When you get amongst those coworkers who are just as miserable as you, y'all just gonna be miserable together. It's not that talking about folks. And while that seems to be, something that is therapeutic and a remedy at the time, it's not. It's very, very toxic. But now if y'all can support each other and push each other into a better situation, do that. But I highly suggest staying away from people who are toxic, who are negative, who are just, I call them ER type people. ER from Winnie the Pooh. Get from around them folks and surround yourself with goal-oriented people who have the same mindset that you do as far as making your life better and stopping the miserable cycle. Number 3, reward yourself throughout the work week. Make little small short-term goals and reward yourself. Don't wait till the weekend. A lot of us, a lot of reasons why Sunday night blues is so heavy is because we wait so long for the weekend, and the weekend fly by so fast. If you start making plans throughout the week, even small ones, different things, it could be, doing a new recipe, it could be anything. Just as long as it's different, give yourself something to look forward to. I ain't saying, drink this night, eat that night, anything that you can consume. I'm talking about different stuff. We eat all the time, and that's another thing. We overeat when we stress, when we're unhappy. We're at this job with a doggone snack corner, and I'm guilty of it, boo. We at our job with a snack corner, and then we look in the mirror and we're unhappy with what we see. It's a cycle. It is a cycle. We need to start stimulating our minds, which will stimulate our thought processes on fixing our lifestyles. And number 4, be your own friend. We are so miserable. We find very little good things about ourselves, and we expect people to see good in ourselves. When what we feel about ourselves are reflected in our behaviors or whatever, and people who are just terrible feed off of that. They feed off of that. So I would say, be your own friend. Pay yourself a compliment. Write yourself a love letter. Pump yourself up. Do all of that. Whatever you feel like you want to be, whatever you feel like you want to do, whatever you're passionate about, as long as it is in God's will. I don't even talk about ratchet stuff. People will try y'all stuff. I keep saying that, but you don't understand, like, some of the responses I get, in private. It's like, what if I do this and this? And you saying, no, come on, that's not pure. Like, come on now. Come on. But I'm just saying, like, pay yourself compliments. Build yourself up so that you can feel better about yourself, so that you can know what you deserve and you can act in what you deserve. If you see what I'm saying. Like, if you act like you deserve more, then you'll demand that in your attitude and the way that you carry yourself with people, and then you will receive more. Number 5, commit to leaving. After you do that little plan or whatever, or your plot, commit to leaving. That means act like this job is finna go somewhere and I gotta do something else. And if I don't find anything else, I'm gonna be out on the street. Because if you lose your mind, your health depletes, you have a heart attack, stressing about the job and all that stuff. I mean, pretty much it's the same thing. You need to go somewhere else to survive. You need to resign to survive. You see what I'm saying? So commit to leaving. Number 6, create your plan. Get on Pinterest, get on Google, research, have your little budget list, have your list of expenses. I already told you which one to look at. Get that Dave Ramsey book, Total Money Makeover. He'll help you out, but if not, Pinterest will. Get on there, have a list of your expenses, what you need or whatever. If you need your little break, have a list of all the bills that need to be paid while you on your break. But do something. In the meantime, while you working, they have apps that you can earn a little extra money on. They have all kinds of things that you can earn extra money on. You can open you an Etsy store. You can go on Fiverr and do some freelance work. There are tons of ways to earn extra money so you can build you a nice little nest egg to start your business, start your company, or cushion you until you find something else. I do not recommend quitting cold turkey. I recommend having you a plan. And number 7, leave on a good note. Wherever you leave, you want to be able to come back to. And if you can't, it don't need to be your fault. You understand? You don't want to leave no bad taste in nobody's mouth. So, I guess this is it. I did not have a guest on here this week, and I am so sorry. My Happy Monday video was about resting, and I thought about not doing this episode this week or whatever because I did not have a guest, but I just really wanted to talk about the topic. It's shorter than my other podcasts or whatever, but I do not like the feeling of being stuck anywhere. So basically, you need to put whatever plans you have, whatever passions, whatever dreams, whatever goals you have in motion. Don't wait, plan. Because as long as you wait, the more you're going to start resenting yourself, and regrets going to come in, and negativity going to come in, and you're going to isolate yourself. It's just going to open up a whole world of hurt for you, and we need to get out of that. It's enough for everybody, which is why I'm on here motivating you, and I hope that you can return the favor by motivating me to stop feeling stuck, quit all that negative mess, to live. Y'all hear that? Them jets so rude. But anyway, I like to give a shout out to my daddy for being on the show last week, my mama, my brother. I had asked him if I can put he and I's rap on here, but that didn't sound bad because he edited that. But yeah, the purpose of that was to show you how I ain't had time to learn how to master it or anything, but that's my passion. And so yeah, my husband, my daughter, my subscribers, my family, my friends, and now I have to go tend to that little area of stress. But forgive me that this podcast is so short. I really want to do more. I will have a guest for the next episode. God willing, whatever. I apologize if this is a drag. But yeah. That's it. Oh, let me give you the topic. I gotta go to my bullet journal. The topic for next week's podcast is, I think it's modern versus traditional. Today versus back in the day. That one's gonna be good. So please stay tuned. Please stay tuned. Alright, that's it. Bye.